So why do we respond negatively to certain situations, events, or circumstances as opposed to other people who may be able to approach that same situation, circumstance, or event with absolute calm, peace, and tranquility and actually have a creative solution to that challenge? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you in this video. You see, if you understand the fundamentals of what is happening in your mind and in your body and with your emotions, then you will unlock the secret to being able to respond with calm, with clarity, with creativity and peace instead of chaos and being stuck in a vicious circle of ruminating thoughts, of emotions that are negative and draining and pulling you down. Now, those negative emotions could be jealousy, rage, anger, anxiety, depression, um, anything that you can think of that's negative. So let's take a look. I'm going to share with you right now this process that is going to be the secret to unlocking more joy, more peace, and more calm in your life. So I'm going to share with you a diagram that's going to walk you through the process from the actual event all the way to your outcome, all the way to the results that you're getting. And once you understand this process and certain key elements of this process, you're going to unlock the secret to calm, clarity, and peace and joy in your life. I promise you, if you understand this and start applying what I'm about to share with you, your life will change. So let's take a little peek here. So the first thing that we have is we have an event, right? Which is the trigger. So that could be something as small as somebody cutting you off in the traffic, jumping in front of you in a line, being rude to you while they're being a server at the restaurant or in a work environment. And what happens? You respond with anger, you respond with rage, your emotions are going crazy. You know, the veins are popping out your head, your blood pressure's rising. You want to get into a damn fight with this person at certain times. Sometimes you have the inclination to say, man, I could just grab this person and shake them and say, what the heck are you doing? Yet that same event can play out in somebody else's life, and they can not respond like that at all. They can say, man, what an idiot, and carry on with their day. You see, the person that's responded in such a way that I described in the former, typically that'll carry on affecting and playing out in their day. And I know this is true for me too, is that when I had certain areas of conflict at work, I used to go home. I used to think about it all day, ruminating. I was in the shower. I was thinking about it. I was having dinner with my family. And I'd suddenly remember, and I'd be playing this argument over and over in my head again. Sometimes it would go on for days. Okay? So there's this trigger. Now, this can be external or internal, meaning it can be something out there, or you could just be sitting there minding your own business, reading a book, watching television, having a conversation with your wife, sitting outside enjoying the sun, and you suddenly remember a situation from a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, of what somebody did to you or said to you, and it can trigger the same response. So there's the event, which is the trigger, alarm bells, bing. Now there's a response. Now this response is automated. Before you even know it, right? You don't always think consciously through the situation. So say somebody cut you off in the traffic. You don't suddenly respond, oh my gosh, now you need to get angry. It's an automated response. You know that. You know that when somebody says something to you, you say, hey, how dare you say that? It's automated response. Now, when this is happening on a subconscious level. This is an automated habitual response, which drives the emotions. So you normally see the event, the trigger, and you experience the emotions. Now, those emotions, like I said, I gave you two contrasting examples. One's calm, clarity, peace, joy, carry on with your life, versus the other one, which is rage in that situation with the car. That could be anger. That could be frustration. That could be, man, I just want to bloody give that guy a bloody good smack. You know, he's got no respect. He's going to kill somebody. You know, it's that sort of rage. This is why we have road rage. Now, that emotion then produces or results in a feeling. We get to experience that feeling, right? And the way that we experience that is by, feeling shaky, upset stomach, high blood pressure, heart racing. We're now experiencing the emotion that's gone with it, right? This event that's triggered something in our brain, which sends through these chemicals through our body, which gets us to experience this feeling. Now, if that event was something that made you feel really inferior, insignificant, and unworthy, that will lead you to feeling maybe low, sad, tearful, depressed, right? So you now have those emotions and it leaves you feeling a certain way. But what you'll find is no matter what the emotion is, when there's a positive or negative emotion, is the negative will make you feel pretty crappy. And sometimes it takes days to respond from that. Me and my wife is, raising kids is not easy. And sometimes as the kids got older and they challenged us more, especially in those teen years, is we used to say the same thing. We maybe have an argument with our daughter or argument with our son. And things were said that you don't really want to say, and they say things to you that are hurtful. And even though you get over it, it still leaves you feeling empty and drained for a couple of days because it's emotional, right? It's an emotional event. Now, that feeling then determines your behavior or your actions, right? So think about that event in the car. Well, now think about the rage and the anger and the frustration. How's that going to make you feel, right? It makes you feel a certain way. So what do you think your behavior is going to be? Do you think your behavior is now going to go into the office or go walk into that dinner with your partner and say, hello, my beautiful, how are you doing? I love you so much. No, it's going to be like, I'm agitated. I can't sit still. Your behavior, you're going to start, the energy that you're putting off and projecting, you're going to start not communicating clearly with the serving staff or the people around you or the friends that are at the table with you, right? This is what determines your behavior. Another example is you doing public speaking, right? There's the trigger. You walk on stage. There's this automated response, the surge of anxiety. What the heck is going on? So the feeling is, oh my gosh, I'm about to pass out here. I feel so weak. I feel like shaking. My voice is going funny. My lips are quivering, right? What is my behavior going to be? It's not going to be behavior or actions that are confident, that are going to stand up and say, hey, I'm the authority. You're going to be subdued, which then leads to an outcome. It's not a great outcome for you. You're not going to be able to move forward. You're not going to be able to achieve the levels that you can achieve. Okay, so let's go into a little bit more detail here about this diagram. So now that you understand this flow, there's the trigger, there's the response, the emotions, the feelings, the behavior, and the outcome. So the thing that we can't change is the external events. And also, by the way, the internal events, those are just thoughts. So you can't really control thoughts. Right? If you try and control your thoughts, you go insane because thoughts just pop in your head. Like you might be having a shower and all of a sudden you think about your third grade teacher that said something to you during music class, but you're 46 years old now. Where the heck did that come from? Or you think about your boyfriend from when you were 21 and now you're 53 with 6 kids and you haven't thought about that person for 20 years. Where did that thought come from? Okay, so there's these internal and external. So you can't control your thoughts. But remember, what drives the actual thing here? The actual thing being the emotions and the feelings, because it goes through these steps. We're missing a step here, because a thought doesn't just determine emotion. An event, an external event, doesn't just trigger an emotion. There's an automated response. It's the second step. That's the key here. You see, most people don't understand this process, so they're getting frustrated with themselves for their emotional response. They're getting frustrated with themselves with the feeling. They start thinking, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why am I so anxious in this situation all the time? Man, I'm such a loser. You see, we're coming back into this vicious circle. We get stuck in this cycle which then feeds back into the response mechanism, which then becomes our truth, and we repeat it. So the response here is the key. Why is it when two people are observing the exact same event, external event, a car cutting them off, one person responds negatively and one person responds positively here? Okay, now there's a caveat that I want to share with you with regards to these emotions about positive and negative, and I'll come to that in a second. So the secret to all of this is the automated response. Now, Kenneth, what is the automated response? Well, the automated response is your programming in your brain, the non-conscious part of your brain, right? So if I threw a ball at you now, boom, automatic response, you'd put your hands up and catch it. Now, when you were a baby and I threw a ball at you, you'd be goo gaga, smack you in the face. Not a pleasant experience. Eventually you learn, hey, boom, I can get that. That becomes a second nature. It becomes instinct. The same as walking, the same as talking. Now, we are programming our brains, you must realize, is just like in a computer. It gets programmed. The non-conscious part of our brain is programmed. So not only do we become programmed on how to speak a certain language, how to walk, how to behave, all of these things, but we start being fed what is good, what is bad. Okay? We get fed this by our parents, by our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our school teachers, church leaders, people in authority. We're learning this. It becomes part of who we are. These are our beliefs. But people are not just telling us verbally this. We're watching this. So I grew up where my brother was in the traffic. He was crazy. He'd be screaming, shouting outside. And my friends, my brother always used to give us a lift to the beach to go surfing on the weekends. My friends, when I was in high school, like, hey, when are we going with your brother? Can your brother? They thought this was the best entertainment. I actually thought it was quite embarrassing. It made me damn scared. But what actually happened, even though it was scary, is when I started driving, this is how I behaved. This became my normal. This became my automated response. So now when somebody cuts me off, I don't really care. But back then I'd be shouting, hooting, whatever. I was a little pipsqueak. If the person stopped the car, they'd probably be able to give me a good smack around the ear for trying to be a smart aleck, right? But what am I trying to get at here? There's an automated response that we learn. So the secret to changing how you respond to an external event or internal event, because again, you can't change your thoughts, but you can become emotionally involved with those thoughts. How? Through your automated response. So you need to start change the programming in your mind, in the non-conscious part of your brain, to one that I don't need to respond like that. It's okay. I'm secure with myself. Yes, that person drove like an idiot, dangerously. I might need to hit the horn, give the horn a blast just to let them know, hey, this is dangerous. I'm here. You nearly freaking crashed into me. But you don't have to become emotionally involved. So here's the good thing. Your emotions, your feelings, they are an alarm bell for you, and they are telling you, okay? They are telling you, hey, guess what you're experiencing here? If you want to change this, I'm showing you exactly where you need to change. So wherever you're experiencing a negative emotion, that's where you know that you can do the work on yourself. So how do we reprogram this mind? We start telling ourselves a different story. And we don't do it once, we don't do it twice, we don't do it 10 times, we do it 1,000 times, because that's what we've told ourselves over time. And we keep practicing. We keep practicing through self-talk, through writing down the type of person you are. I am peaceful and content. I am calm. I am secure in myself. I trust myself. A lot of these negative reactions or emotions will come from us feeling not worthy, not good enough. We do this through visualization, over and over and over. Affirmations, visualizations, positive self-talk, through our actions, and also writing it down. By starting to live that way. Now, in the beginning, we have to be conscious, like the same way as when we were a kid, we learned how to walk. We have to watch each step. So when you find yourself responding like that, don't beat yourself up. Why am I responding that way? Thank you. Thank you for that emotion. Now remind yourself, hey, I'm not that person. I am peaceful and calm. It's okay. It's okay. I let it go. I let it go. All right. So that's what we have to do here. Now, the other thing that I said about the emotions being positive or negative is there's no such thing as positive or negative emotions. There's just emotions. We are giving them a label. But there's no doubt that some of these emotions don't make us feel too great. Some of them make us feel good, right? Feeling happy, peaceful, we feel great. With the other ones, they're not. They don't make us feel too good. They typically drain us. And over time, those chronic negative emotions result in stress, depression, anxiety, ends up in physical sickness, mental illness, emotional pain, illness, sickness, etc. Okay? So if you can understand this, folks, there's the trigger, there's the response, there's the emotions, the feeling, and behavior, which gives you your outcome, then you are 90% of everybody else. Now, if you want to change all of these things, because everything comes downstream from the automated response, we'll never be able to control how people drive. We'll never be able to control what people do to us or say to us. We'll never be able to control external events, losses, etc. We'll never be able to control the economy. We'll never be able to control our boss saying certain things or firing us or getting rid of us. But we can control how we respond. How we respond is going to determine our emotions, which is going to determine how we feel, which is going to determine our behavior. So this is not just about a feeling, oh, I just want to feel calm and peaceful and live in la la land. No, this is science. You see, because when we in a hypervigilant state, when we in a state that is emotionally vibrating at a very high frequency of rage, of and we might talk about energy here, that's actually not a high vibration but a low vibration. But when we stimulate it in hypervigilant, when we're in that state of anxiety, depression, sadness, jealousy, rage, anger, frustration, okay, it's actually turning off the part of your brain that's going to come up with the creative solutions. It actually shuts down that part of the brain. So you actually cannot think properly. And you can see these examples play out by professional athletes. In the midst of chaos, there's a couple of seconds left on the clock. They are down. They're coming up to the championship winning point or play. How do they stay so calm? They wouldn't be able to stay calm if their automated response was negative, right? And they were out of control. They just wouldn't. Their brain would shut down. And we see this play out in sports teams, or people collapse in the midst and in the face of pressure. So how did they get there? Practice. Your mind is like going to the gym, just the way that we work out our physical body. We got to work on our mind. Your mind is a muscle, so you need to train it. Okay? And so this practice over time allows you to stay in this place of chaos, all this chaos happening around you, but you're in a place of calm. But you haven't shut down that prefrontal cortex, which is the place of creativity. Okay? Your brain is going to offer you creative solutions to the situations. It's the same way as soldiers. They practice live drills, training drills over and over and over and over again. And also through experience, being in that situation over and over, if you're practicing this, you end up getting more experienced and be able to handle these external and internal triggers in a much more positive or much more uplifting way. So I hope you found this video helpful. Here's to you feeling great. Here's to you experiencing emotions of calm, of peace, joy, love, kindness, gratitude, and If you enjoyed this, I'd love to hear your comments in the video. I'd love to for you to subscribe to the channel so I can keep creating great content like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers.